Good evening, and welcome to The Current Buzz, your trusted source for the latest news and stories that matter. I'm Jason. And tonight, we bring you breaking headlines and updates from around the world. From politics to entertainment, and everything in between, we've got you covered. So, let's dive into the top stories making waves right now. Stay tuned.
Hey everyone, today we're looking at two countries facing big leadership challenges. These challenges are not just political but also deeply social and economic, affecting millions of lives in South Korea and Britain. In South Korea, President Yoon Yeol is in a tough spot. His administration is under intense scrutiny and the public's trust is wavering. The political climate is tense, and people are demanding transparency and accountability. There's an arrest warrant out for him because of accusations he abused his power. This has led to widespread protests and a call for justice. The legal system is now in the spotlight, and the outcome of this case could have far-reaching implications for the country's future. Meanwhile, all the way over in Britain, Prime Minister Keir Starmer is dealing with a different kind of problem. His leadership is being questioned as he navigates through a series of domestic issues that are causing unrest among the populace. People are criticizing him for focusing on international stuff, while problems at home are getting worse. The cost of living is rising, public services are under strain, and many feel that their concerns are being ignored. This has led to a significant drop in his approval ratings. These two stories seem different, but they both show how hard it is for leaders to balance problems at home and responsibilities to the rest of the world. Both leaders are trying to find a way to address their domestic issues while also fulfilling their roles on the global stage. What happens in Seoul and London matters to everyone because we all face big challenges like climate change, unpredictable economies, and tension between countries. The decisions made by these leaders will not only impact their own nations but also have a ripple effect across the globe. It's a reminder that in our interconnected world, the actions of a few can influence the lives of many. As we watch these events unfold, it's important to stay informed and engaged. Understanding the complexities of leadership and the challenges faced by those in power can help us become more empathetic and proactive citizens. Whether it's through voting, activism, or simply staying educated, we all have a role to play in shaping the future. So, let's keep an eye on South Korea and Britain and remember that leadership is not just about making decisions, but also about inspiring and uniting people. The journey of these two leaders is a testament to the complexities and responsibilities that come with guiding a nation. Stay tuned for more updates on this evolving story. Things are tense in South Korea. The bustling streets of Seoul, usually filled with the hum of daily life, now carry an air of unease. Citizens walk with furrowed brows, their conversations tinged with worry and uncertainty. The nation is on edge and the reason is clear. Political disagreements have turned into a huge crisis. What started as debates in parliament and heated discussions on television has spilled out into the streets. Protests have erupted with thousands of people from all walks of life taking to the streets to voice their opinions. The atmosphere is charged, and the divide between opposing factions is stark. The government issued an arrest warrant for President Yoon Yeol. That's never happened before. This unprecedented move has sent shockwaves through the nation. The courthouse, a symbol of justice, now stands at the center of a political storm. The decision to issue an arrest warrant against a sitting president is a bold and controversial step, one that has left the country reeling. He's accused of abusing his power, causing trouble, and trying to stop democracy by using the military to take control. The sight of soldiers patrolling the streets, once a rare occurrence, has become a common sight. The accusations against President Yoon are serious and have far-reaching implications. Allegations of power abuse and attempts to undermine democratic processes have only added fuel to the fire. Yoon's supporters say it's all a political trick by the opposition party, the Democratic Party, to make him look bad. They argue that the charges are baseless and are part of a larger scheme to discredit him. At rallies, supporters hold banners and chant slogans expressing their unwavering loyalty to the president. They believe that this is a calculated move by the opposition to gain political advantage. They say Yoon was just trying to stop the Democratic Party from being too friendly with North Korea, and from making South Korea less safe. The issue of North Korea remains a contentious topic in South Korean politics. Yoon's supporters claim that his actions were aimed at protecting the nation from potential threats. They argue that the Democratic Party's approach to North Korea is dangerously lenient and compromises national security. But people who don't like Yoon say his actions show he doesn't care about democracy and he'll do anything to stay in power. Critics of President Yoon are vocal and passionate. They believe that his recent actions are a clear indication of his disregard for democratic principles. To them, his use of military force and attempts to consolidate power are alarming signs of authoritarianism. The nation remains deeply divided, with no easy resolution in sight. South Korea has never seen anything like this before. A president facing such serious charges and an arrest warrant, it's a huge deal. No one knows what will happen next for their democracy and the rule of law. Now it's up to South Korea's constitutional court. They have to decide if the impeachment and the arrest warrant are valid. It's a lot of pressure. Their decision, which should come out in a few months, is super important. It will affect Yoon's future, and it will affect South Korea's stability and how other countries see it. All this political trouble is hurting South Korea's economy. Investors are worried, which makes the South Korean won worth less. The stock market, which shows how confident people are in the economy, is also down. This could really hurt South Korea's recovery after the pandemic. Businesses are already dealing with rising prices and less demand worldwide. Adding a leadership crisis on top of that could be really bad. This shows how easily economies can be hurt and how connected politics and money are. Section 5. Across the Globe Starmer's Balancing Act. While South Korea deals with its crisis, British Prime Minister Keir Starmer has a different problem: how to balance things at home with international stuff. Starmer promised to fix things in Britain, but now people are criticizing him for traveling too much. They say he's ignoring problems at home, but people who support Starmer say his trips are important for Britain. They say he's making important friendships with other countries, especially in the G20, and making trade deals that will help Britain's economy. Section 6. The downside of global travel. Starmer's trips have a downside. Because he's not in Britain, his opponents say he doesn't understand regular people's problems. They say things are getting more expensive, energy bills are too high, and the National Health Service is struggling, and Starmer isn't paying attention. This shows how hard it is for leaders to focus on both global and local issues. Working with other countries is important, but ignoring problems at home can make people angry and cause political instability. Section 7. Problems at home for Starmer. Starmer has a lot to deal with in Britain. The National Health Service, which used to be great, doesn't have enough money, enough staff, or enough time to help all the sick people, especially after the pandemic. Things are getting more and more expensive, which makes people angry. Starmer has promised to fix these problems. He says he'll make sure people can see a doctor faster and help families who are struggling to pay for things. But keeping these promises will be hard and expensive. Section 8. 2 stories, 1 big idea. What's happening in South Korea and the UK, even though they're far apart, are connected. Both countries are dealing with the challenges of leadership in a time of uncertainty and fast change. South Korea shows how important it is to have strong democratic institutions and follow the rule of law. Starmer's situation shows the tough choices leaders have to make between focusing on things at home and working with other countries. Section 9. Democracy and diplomacy still matter. As we watch these stories unfold, we see how important democracy and talking with other countries still are. Democracy is not just a system of government, it is a way of life that ensures every voice is heard and every individual has a say in the decisions that affect their lives. Diplomacy, on the other hand, is the art of managing international relations, a tool that helps nations navigate the complexities of global politics. Together, they form the bedrock of a stable and peaceful world. In South Korea, the whole country is waiting to see what happens next. The nation stands at a crossroads, with its citizens eagerly anticipating the outcomes of crucial political decisions. The streets are filled with a palpable sense of anticipation, as people gather around large screens to stay updated on the latest developments. The South Korean parliament is a hive of activity, with lawmakers debating policies that will shape the future of the nation. In the UK, a leader is trying to balance global responsibilities with problems at home. The Prime Minister faces the daunting task of addressing domestic issues while also fulfilling international obligations. The halls of the UK Parliament echo with discussions on how to strike this delicate balance. The British flag waves proudly, symbolizing the nation's resilience and commitment to both its citizens and the global community. What happens in Seoul and London will affect the whole world. The interconnectedness of our global society means that decisions made in one part of the world can have far-reaching consequences. The global stock markets react to political events, and international news headlines reflect the ripple effects of these decisions. Crowds in both Seoul and London are acutely aware of the global implications of their local politics. It reminds us that to have peace and a better world, we need strong democracies, smart diplomacy, and to remember that we're all in this together. Peaceful protests and international peace conferences highlight the importance of unity and collaboration. People from different cultures holding hands symbolize the shared human experience and the collective effort required to build a better future. World leaders in discussion underscore the necessity of diplomatic engagement in resolving conflicts and fostering cooperation. The world is watching, and what happens next is really important. Press conferences and international news broadcasts keep the global audience informed and engaged. A large audience watches events unfold, understanding the significance of the moment. The globe, with a focus on South Korea and the UK, serves as a reminder that the actions of these nations are under the scrutiny of the entire world. The decisions made today will shape the future, and the world is keenly observing every move.
That's all for tonight on The Current Buzz. Thank you for spending your time with us. We'll see you again tomorrow, same time, same place. Until then, take care and have a great evening.